I have a quick question for you, and I'm not even sure that I mean this hypothetically anymore, because as I was preparing for this video, doing all my research, I just got more and more angry. But anyway, do you know our politicians, those people that we elect, pay their salary, and expect them to do whatever's best for their constituents? Are those people the most corrupt people ever? All the evidence I'm about to share with you, I don't even know if I'm asking that hypothetically anymore. Check out what I read just literally today. We now estimate that Nancy Pelosi, as many of us know, the GOAT of Wall Street, today alone made $532,000. Folks, can you appreciate how much money that is? That's a multitude more than the average American family income. This blows out of the water. She made it in a single day. Are you kidding me? How are we possibly in a system where a person who is a career politician, average salary probably nets out to around $200K, can make $500K in a day? So anyway, I saw that today, so I decided to do a little bit of a deep dive on the whole situation, and I just want to share what I found with you, and hopefully I could get your thoughts. Let me know in a comment below, but first, let me share everything that I was actually able to unearth. Nancy Pelosi. So one of her most well-known trades as of now is Nvidia, and it's a hot topic because Nvidia just hit another new all-time high. Nvidia stock has now risen 133% since Nancy Pelosi bought up to $5 million worth of Nvidia call options. For those of you who don't know about options, it's a leveraged way to play the market. You could, yes, buy Nvidia stock, or you could buy Nvidia call options, which have a leverage rate of 100 to 1. It is now estimated that Pelosi has made $8.4 million in the stock market this month alone. I just said she made $500,000 today. Folks, we're not even done with the month, and she's up almost 10 milli. I really wish I could sit here and tell you all that it just ended there with her and she's the only one, and maybe if we take care of her, this idea of political insider trading, I guess I should say alleged political insider trading. I'm not a lawyer. I don't speak legalese. I don't know what information they do or don't have. I don't know who they're sharing it with, but some of these connections are absurd. But anyway, it's not just her. Check this guy out, Michael Guest. He also got on the Nvidia trade, and he's crushing it. But what's unique about his trade is he's actually on the House Ethics Committee. Can you appreciate the irony in that? Catching one of the best stock runs of all time, and you're on the House Ethics Committee? I wish the jokes would stop there, but right here, we have so many politicians catching this borderline 200% run in Nvidia in the past year. So yeah, I could make a full video on just politicians trading Nvidia alone, but you probably get the vibe that, yeah, it seems like a lot of them got in on it, and I hope you guys did too. But I'm noticing something strange where we're electing these politicians to serve us, and yet I don't think we're ever really that much better off. But yet during office, and especially when they leave office, their lives improve dramatically. So I just want to share a couple of my favorites with you. Obviously, we have Michael Guest, we have Nancy Pelosi, they're crushing Nvidia, and so many politicians are. But I want to share a couple other ones that maybe you just don't hear of that often, because to me, this is fun. This is one of those situations where we have to laugh at the absurdity of it, because if we don't, we're going to scream in anger and disgust. So let's roll the tape. Coach Tommy Tuberville, he's on one. He's recently trading Humacyte. This is a know-nothing biotech pharmaceutical play that literally no politician has traded this. Like this is nothing to anybody. And yet he's crushing it. And you take a look into the stock, not only is it going up 158%, but you realize it does something interesting. And I don't want to mess this up, so I wrote down the specifics so I can describe it properly. They are involved in the world of implantable human tissue. It's kind of related to veterans and things like that. And they're actively testing it in Ukraine right now. And then it gets even better when you come to Coach Tommy Tuberville's website and you realize he's on the Senate Armed Services Committee. Yes, a senator on the Armed Services Committee is invested in kind of a podunk random biotech company testing on army soldiers in Ukraine. Also, if you look into his trade log, he's on the ag committee and he literally has documented day trading like corn. That's a little side note. I just whenever I think about Tommy Tuberville, that one always pops in my head. And that's why he's my dark horse favorite political trader of all time. But of course, there's more. It doesn't end there. This right here is Mr. Josh Gothenheimer. Also making a killing on random pharmaceutical trades, currently up 77% on one of his publicly reported positions. Now you might be thinking to yourself, what Matt?
Maybe Mr. Gothenheimer has a background in biotech.
That's a good question. And then you read his biography and you realize he's a career politician, but his biography does bring up something pretty funny. He also serves on the House Financial Service Committee, where he's a member on the subcommittee of illicit finance. So one of the people that we're saying should be like kind of the watchdog for everyone else, he's crushing a pharmaceutical play that once again no one really knew about. He has no background in. I'm sure there's nothing going on. And before you get mad at me and you think,
Matt, you're just picking on one side.
No, they all do it. Left, right, center, extreme center, not extreme center. It doesn't matter. The people we are electing, there's a clear trend that what they are doing is using the position of power to line their own pockets. And after they do it enough and finally leave, they're like, peace, thanks, folks. Thanks, suckers. I mean, look at this. This is the estimated money made within the market from 2023 till now. So you have Pelosi clocking in just below 60 million, Mitt Romney clocking in right around the mid 20s. You have Green clocking in at 20 mil. Then you have Goldman clocking in at also just below 20 mil. And then to round out the top five, you have Issa locking in around 17 mil. Do you realize how much more of a multiple this is that they're making in the market than their actual job? And then yet we expect them to have no conflicts of interest whatsoever? Don't even give me, I'm gonna lose my mind if we start talking about the lobbying and how they're getting so much money from that. But just in terms of their voting and what they're meant to do, serve us, serve you, serve me, serve the country, their locality, whatever it is. And yet when they have such a large financial interest, we're expecting them to make decisions that are the best for everyone and not their own wallet, not their own portfolio. This absolutely blows my mind. Very quickly, since we're talking about stocks and options, I think you should listen to this. Shout out to public.com for sponsoring this portion of the video. If you're an options trader, planning on becoming one, or just generally interested in the markets, you're gonna wanna listen up. For those of you who don't know, public.com is my favorite place to trade options. If you're wondering why, the answer is simple. It's the most cost-effective place to trade options. In fact, you can earn a rebate on every options contract that you trade. That means that you get paid a rebate for each time you buy and each time you sell for each contract you're trading. I love it because it allows me to focus on my actual trading rather than the headache that is trading fees. Now, beyond options, public.com offers you an entire suite of tools. They offer exposure to stocks, options, bonds, crypto, and even have a high yield account that's currently sitting at 5.1%. With all of these offerings, no commission fees, and no per contract fees with options trading, I'm confident you'll enjoy public.com as much as I do. So if you want to check it out, go to public.com/Matt Kohrs or just click on the link in the description of the video. Thanks again to Public for partnering with us, the Goonie community. I really do hope you crush it in your own market endeavors, because maybe one day, if you crush it enough, you could join this list. According to Harry Truman, and this is a quote that really does resonate with me, show me a man that gets rich by being a politician and I'll show you a crook. That deserves a round of applause. Nancy Pelosi, annual salary $223,000, net worth $202 million. Mitch McConnell, making $200K a year. That's good money, but somehow worth $95 mil. Chuck Schumer, making $210, worth $75 mil. And then Elizabeth Warren. This one I find to be funny because she always takes the side of, let's argue against the rich people. The rich people are the problem. She's making $193 a year. And first of all, that's phenomenal money. But then when you realize the person who's making $193,000 a year, saying that people having money and amassing wealth are the criminals and doing something wrong, she herself is worth $73 million. This is just a couple Google searches away of the info I could find. Imagine if we went through every single elected political figure and what's going on, the amount of skeletons we would find. It would be Halloween every single day of the year. I don't want to leave you on that negative note. I want to leave you with, I guess, something a little bit more positive. Majority of Americans wrongly believe US is in a recession. I get it. You might be thinking that your dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. You might be thinking that there's a bit of a financial pinch on your life, but fortunately for us, you're wrong. And I know that because the headline says that you're wrong. So don't worry about literally every anecdotal thing in your own life of how you're financially struggling. Let's just trust that these headlines are right. And maybe if we're all a little bit more informed, if we do a little bit more of a research on this whole, I guess, question of what's going on with the economy, we're going to uncover that things aren't so rosy. US credit card delinquency rates have jumped to 8.9% in the first quarter of 2024, which happens to be the highest in over a decade. We're talking all the way back to 2011. This means that credit card defaults have more than doubled in just 3 years and have been rising to the fastest pace since the financial crisis. US credit card serious delinquency rates for most age groups have spiked to the highest level in 13 years, and this is all happening while US credit card debt is in the realm of 1.12 trillion. This is all happening because inflation is sky high, it's continuing to rip, and people are trying to buy what they need to, so they're choosing to stack up debt, and unfortunately, we're getting to some very serious breaking points. So I guess what I'm trying to say to put this all together in a little bit more of a cohesive manner is I'm just sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of truly understanding that many of us are feeling the financial pinch, and yet these headlines and mainstream media is telling us, actually, no, you're not. No, you're a crazy person. And then you dive into a little bit more and you're like, well, hang on, all those metrics don't seem right. And then you turn to the people who are supposed to be helping alleviate the problem, fix the issue. Our politicians, they're not getting anything through, at least not that is actually impactful on our lives. But then yet, while they're not seemingly doing their job, they're individually making millions, millions, and millions of dollars by some of the best time trades known to man, and yet none of them have Wall Street experience. And then you ask them, hey, what are you doing? What's going on here? And they're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it whatsoever. We are fixing things. And I guess that's my question now is, are you really fixing things? We now have almost $35 trillion of debt. Not only is it at the highest level ever, because that's always what happens with debt, apparently we're never bringing it down, but the rate of growth is getting astronomical. In fact, it's going so much that we are now spending more on just our interest payments on the debt than anything else. Folks, can you appreciate that? I know I'm getting a little close to you right now, and I'm sorry, it's just, once again, my blood pressure is through the roof. Can you appreciate the fact, I'm not talking about paying down our debt, just our interest payments on the debt that we have are now the biggest expenditure of the US government. What Looney Tunes land do we live in where the people we're electing are somehow crushing it in the market, amassing more wealth than you could possibly imagine? And then all of a sudden, while that's happening, we're getting articles that things are actually great for everyone, yet you and I all know that they're not. In fact, most people are seriously financially struggling right now. And then they're telling us that everything's okay in our life, their life, and then the economy's great, even though we all know it's not across the board. It's one giant lie. This is insane. And it brings me to my original question to all of you. Our politicians, I was gonna ask it, I guess, hyperbolically, but now I am almost thinking about it in a very literal sense. Are they the most corrupt people ever? The people who could change it are the people who are like, it's the blind leading the blind. Actually, it's corrupt leading the corrupt. You get what I'm saying. The people that are supposed to be making reasonable, logical decisions and rules are the ones that are just at the casino table, just letting it rip, hoping that they could fill up their own pockets. I suppose here's to hoping that one day it changes, but in the meantime, please understand, I am 100% going to be using my platform to calling out these people who are clearly have other intents in their mind and in their heart rather than actually helping the people who voted them in office to begin with. And with that being said, I would love to hear from you in the comment below. Am I completely wrong here? Am I missing something? Is my blood pressure too high for no reason? Or does this actually make a little bit of sense? Let me know in a comment below.